Howdy, Patriots. We had a great story that we read today from one of our student groups. The thing I would like to do is add more style to it. Let's add more punch. Remember, we read through our section together. The things we needed to do with it: number one, get rid of all those sentences that start with she. We wanted to reduce them to 3 she's or less. Add exclamation points after each mama. You want to add emotion. Get rid of phrases like she started to do something or she went to do something. Just tell us what they're doing. And make the passage scarier. Use words that convey emotion to pump up the creepiness. You want to see my version of it? Here you go. The original is at the top. My rewrite is at the bottom. Isabel only saw it for a second, the shadow that passed over her and darkened the forest floor. Where it came from, she had no idea, but she was determined to track it to its source. She followed it deep into the grove, with each step blocking out more and more of the afternoon sunlight. Frightened and alone in the darkness, she cried out, "Mama! Mama!" No one answered. She turned to run, but tripped on a jagged root at the base of the tree. There, laying in the leaves and dead grass, she saw it. The box. This is a really good start. I like what they've done with this. Hopefully you can see how I've tried to pump up the tension. Isabel only saw it for a second. Your first sentence is really important. You're like, oh, it? What is it? What are they talking about? The shadow that passed over her and darkened the forest floor. I wanted to add some mystery and also make her look like she was kind of tough. So where it came from, she had no idea, but she was determined to track it to its source, so she sounds like a hunter. How did she feel? Frightened and alone in the darkness. I'm trying to pump up the emotion with this. She cried out, "Mama, Mama!" Exclamation points are right here. I wanted to add a little bit of conflict when she found it. Something bad physically would happen to her when she found it. So what did she do? She turned to run but tripped on a jagged root at the base of a tree. Jagged is a fun word. It sounds like what it is. Jagged. It has edges. It's kind of sharp and piercing. So I put that in there because it was just a good, scary sounding word. What's up with this box? Where did she find it? Laying in the leaves and dead grass. So it sounds like it's kind of gross and messy. She saw it. The box. So we've taken our awesome start that we have here, and we've added a lot of cool personality to it down here. Let's look at the second section and see how I doctored that one up. Here's our second section that we read through at the beginning of the hour. What do we need to do? Combine some sentences so we get rid of some Isabels. Let's see if we can take these 3 Isabels down to 1. You don't want to start a sentence with the conjunction but in most cases. Get rid of them both. Think about vocabulary. When you talk about a special curse, it makes it sound like it's something fun just for you. Curse isn't special, it's deadly. So let's change some vocabulary. And this happens a lot with us. Look at the last 2 sentences. The first one says she didn't know anything was wrong, and the second one says that she did. Pick one and go with it. Add mystery and suspense. You want to read my version? Here it is. I wanted the box to sound like it was pretty to look at but scary at the same time, so here's what I wrote. It was covered with characters and letters from an ancient alphabet she couldn't understand. Isabel ran back to her house as fast as she could go, then bolted up the stairs and locked her bedroom door behind her. Check out my active verbs. She ran, she bolted, and she locked. The more active verbs you get, the better the audience pays attention. She sat down, how? Breathless, and opened the box. Inside, she saw nothing, but what the girl didn't know was that the curse had been released. I love cool phrases like that. I wanted to show physically how she was messed up by this thing. She wiped the sweat from her brow and noticed that her hands were trembling. So she's scared, right? Where did this strange box come from? What was its story? She would find out very soon. So I'm trying to ramp up the suspense. Show us physically what someone looks like while they're going through all of this stuff. Don't just tell us she was nervous. Show us she was nervous. And anytime you end a passage with an ominous quote like this, yeah, it's cheesy, but it's really good cheese. So don't be afraid to pump up the emotion in what you're doing. I might use this for a rough draft and then think, okay, I got my rough draft done. How can I really spice this story up and make it awesome? Always look for ways to write the coolest story, because the coolest stories make the coolest movies. I'm really pumped to see where our creative writing is taking us. Keep working at it, Patriots, and I'll talk to you soon. Farewell.